Nothing excites a college football crowd more than the long run, the swift halfback weaving through tacklers, the burst of speed that carries him past the opposition. Hello, everybody. This is Keith Jackson. For more than 100 years, runners have been the headline makers of collegiate football. Since Walter Camp and Amos Alonzo Stagg first reshaped rugby into the game we know today as football, the following are some of the greatest ever to run with a pigskin. At the turn of the 20th century, Michigan's Wolverines scored a point a minute, and Willie Heston ran for 93 touchdowns. Jim Thorpe ran hard, low to the ground, deftly shifting the ball from hand to hand, a challenging runner. After World War I, the colorful cavalry of Notre Dame rode strong under Rockney. The Irish upset Army at the Polo Grounds in 1924, and Grantland Rice rode of the victory. Outlined against the blue-gray October sky, the Four Horsemen rode again. In dramatic lore, they're known as famine, pestilence, destruction, and death. Aliases, of course. Their real names are Stooldreer, Miller, Crowley, and Layden. October 18, 1924, Champaign, Illinois. Red Grange, the blue jersey with the orange numerals number 77. On this day, Red Grange became the galloping ghost. He returned the opening kickoff 95 yards. He scored the first 3 times he touched the football from scrimmage. Runs of 67, 56, and 44 yards. All of this in the opening 12 minutes against rival Michigan. Whizzer White, now Supreme Court Justice Byron White, playing 60 minutes a game for Colorado, returning kicks as well as rushing from scrimmage. In 1937, White averaged 246.3 all-purpose yards a game. That is still an NCAA record. Tom Harmon, 195 pounds of fury, running out of the Michigan single wing, legs high, master of the straight arm as no other man. World War II. The U.S. Military Academy had Doc Blanchard and Glenn Davis, Mr. Inside and Outside. No other backfield has ever had 2 Heisman Trophy winners. Army did in 1945 and 1946. Blanchard lifted the Black Knights of the Hudson with his pounding thrusts at the heart of enemy lines. Davis circled defensive perimeters, and as a senior, averaged over 11 yards per carry. In the Pacific Northwest, Washington's Hugh McElhaney averaged 14.8 yards per rush in a game against Washington State in 1950, and that remains an NCAA record. Back in the East in 1956, Jim Brown was closing out a brilliant collegiate career at Syracuse. In his final game, the powerful Brown produced college football's major division scoring record, 43 points against Colgate. Down in Bayou Country, Louisiana State was coming off a national championship, and Billy Cannon's season-long heroics kept the Tigers roaring for more. Going for their 19th consecutive win, the Tigers trailed Ole Miss 3-0 in the 4th quarter. Ole Miss punted. The ball bounced at the 11. Coach Paul Dietzel had a rule: never touch a punt inside the 20. But Cannon broke the rule. Billy headed up the sidelines, 89 yards, a dramatic LSU victory by a score of 7-3. According to NCAA statistics, the longest plays from scrimmage are measured at 99 yards. Kansas' Gale Sayers had one of them in 1963 and went on to become one of the most feared runners in Big 8 and collegiate football history. November 1967, Los Angeles, throbbing with excitement. Arch rivals UCLA and USC. The Bruins ranked number 1. The Trojans ranked number 2 in the national polls. 10 minutes to play in the game. The Bruins led 20-14. O.J. Simpson took the football, and in a seemingly endless series of bumps, bangs. Through clutching hands, he forced his way to the end zone. And USC coach John McKay called it the greatest run he'd ever seen. The Trojans won the national championship. Only one player has won the Heisman twice. Only one player had 31 consecutive games of 100-plus yards rushing. His name, Archie Griffin. As a freshman at Ohio State, off the bench in the second game, Archie established a Buckeye record of 239 yards. That day, Coach Woody Hayes said of his rookie back, he has the natural knack of knowing what to do and then doing it. Another coach said, he runs like a crab, sideways. Obviously a losing coach. And for 4 seasons, that's how Griffin ran, becoming the all-time rushing leader with 5,177 yards. It was a record, which would stand, though, for only 1 season. At Pittsburgh, Tony Dorsett would eclipse Griffin's mark. Finishing his career in 1976, the smooth gliding Dorsett covered 6,082 yards rushing. It seemed Tony was at his best when playing against Notre Dame. During his 4-year career, he riddled Irish defenses for 754 total yards, more than any player has ever gained against Notre Dame. As a junior, Dorsett stunned the Irish on a Saturday afternoon with 303 yards, including touchdown runs of 71 and 57 yards. The litany could go on forever. Ollie Matson, Doak Walker, Mike Garrett, Steve Owens, Dick Kazmaier, all have thrilled football fans from coast to coast. These men, and many like them, have written the headlines week after week, year upon year. They are football's history makers, the men we shall never forget.